That's a genius name. I mean, your last name is Duty. Duty's Daggers makes perfect sense.
Hello, my Duderinos. It's review time, folks. We got a budget knife, a pretty darn good budget knife, in fact. We're going to review it, talk all about it. First of all, if you haven't subscribed, do it now. Follow me on Instagram at duties_daggers also. It's a fun channel. We do good stuff, so just subscribe. Also, consider becoming a channel member. The lowest tier is only $3 a month, and you get a lot of perks for that amount of money. You get one video per week that comes out on Saturdays that only the channel members can watch. It's private to them. It's always something really fun, like a shop tour or follow me around for the day, something cool like that. You get private emojis that only you guys can use. You get shout outs. You get access to a members only chat room on Instagram for only the members. It's really fun. So please consider helping me out, helping out the channel, and having some fun with me and the other members. So this is the CRKT Piet. It is spelled Piet. I say that's Pete. Pronounce it however you want it. That's how I pronounce it. This is a very cheap knife. I got this on sale at Blade HQ for $17. Crazy. But even when it's not on sale, it is a very cheap knife. But it's a very good knife, in my opinion, for the price. It might be one, I won't say it's the best budget knife under $20 or under whatever it is, under $30. But it is definitely a contender. It is one of the best knives under whatever it is, $30. Absolutely. So let's measure it first of all. We're looking at a blade length of 2 5/8, and the cutting edge is exactly 2.5. The overall length 6 3/8, and closed we have 3 3/4 inch. It's a relatively small knife. I can still get a full grip on it. I would call it a medium to small sized knife. How about size comparisons? Benchmade bug out, or sorry, Griptilian, Benchmade Griptilian. I don't know why I did that. Spyderco PM2. So you can see it's pretty small. Let's do the Civivi Elementum. Still a bit bigger than the Piet. And the Ontario Rat Model 2. Bigger than the Piet. And then, what else should we do? Let's do the Baby Banter. The Piet is bigger than the Baby Banter. And let's see. Let's do the Civivi McKenna, just because I just got it and I absolutely love it. The McKenna is a little bit longer. Similar size, though, for both of those guys. And, yeah, that'll do it for size comparisons. Let's measure the thickness behind the edge. First, let me guess. I'm going to say 22 thousandths. First of all, for context, the Civivi Elementum is around 20 thousandths. The Baby Banter is around 17 to 16 thousandths. So that's more on the thin side. Actually, the thinnest of my collection, the Civivi McKenna, is 12 thousandths behind the edge. And then on the other end of the spectrum, the Benchmade Griptilian is around 27 to 28 thousandths. And that is quite thick for a pocket knife. So let's see what the Piet is here. Like I said, I think it's going to be around 21, maybe 22. Let's measure at the base. Okay. Come on, 23. Okay. Toward the middle, 23 again. Towards the tip. 23 again. Wow. Very consistent edge. That's always nice to see. It's not necessary for good cutting performance, but it kind of nice to see. Tells you that whoever ground these bevels in, if they were machine or human, that whoever it was did a good job. So let's talk about the construction of the Piet here. We have polymer handles, or maybe they're FRN, GRN, some sort of plastic. They have this kind of cool grippy texture on them though, which I actually really like. It'd be really cool if this was on some titanium. How cool would that be? It's not quite an orange peel. It's a little bit more substantial than an orange peel. I think this would look badass on titanium. But on this plastic here, feels good. Gives you a pretty nice grip. We got a blue aluminum backspacer, which is a pretty nice little touch. You know, get some aluminum on there for such a cheap knife. That's nice. Deep carry pocket clip inset with flat-headed screws. Very, very good. Reversible. You can see the lefties have a cutout there for them. A lanyard hole there if you want that. So it's a pretty simple knife. The pocket clip works well. Kind of a, reminds me sort of like a Kaiser, similar to a Kaiser clip, works fine, absolutely. The blade, I think this is kind of where the knife shines. This is a great blade shape for EDC. Really, really great. It kind of reminds me of the Pilar 3 blade, if you're familiar with that. Now, this is a Jesper Voxnaes design. Probably not pronouncing the name correctly, but oh well. And he has done quite a few designs with CRKT. The whole Pilar series, the Pilar, the Pilar Large, or the Pilarge, and then the Pilar 3, and some others. But those three I have owned in the past. And the Pilar 3 was my favorite because it was less of a sheep's foot and more of this kind of low-tipped, little bit of belly drop point. Sort of reminds me of a Spyderco blade almost. If we look at the Native 5 here, whoops. It's a similar blade, Just a nice low tip, little bit of belly. I love this blade shape. It's one of my favorites besides, a sheep's foot or Warncliffe sometimes. Really great. You can kind of see the point kind of aims down a little bit from the handle. I think that's great. This is just a very utilitarian, really useful blade shape. Pretty thick blade stock, but you can see not super unbelievably thick behind the edge. I think it's reasonable. That's fine with me. The action is what you'd expect from such a cheap knife. Absolutely not falls shut. In fact, it's kind of hard to shake it down even. I just use my finger, close it like you would, any knife really. It came a little off-centered, and I haven't attempted to fix that yet, so it could very, very well be fixable. I just haven't attempted it yet. In fact, I'm fairly certain I would be able to correct that. It is there's only a cutout for the deployment. There's no thumb stud, no flipper tab. That's another thing I like. I've been really into flicker only knives recently. The Devo Mash, for example, no flipper tab, no thumb stud, just a flicker. I think that's really nice. There's nothing sticking out, protruding, getting in the cutting path. It makes for an easy, a knife that cuts well. You see the Tucson TS300, same thing. It's a flicker only, no thumb stud, nothing. I think that's cool. It's really easy to thumb flick, as I mess it up. Well, I won't say really easy. Let me rephrase that. If you get your thumb in the right spot, which is this top corner right here, it's easy to thumb flick. But it takes a little getting used to. You have to make sure your thumb's in the right spot. Now, the slow roll, I think, is probably best. Really easy to slow roll. I think that's kind of what this knife is meant to do. You can reverse flick it, but look, check this out. The other side of the scale is kind of halfway covering up that hole. So if you're right-handed and you're reverse flicking this way, it's a little hard to get in there. You can do it. You kind of just have to wedge your fingernail in there and push kind of hard and then flick it out. So you can do it. But there are times where you're going to slip off, and it's not the best access in the world. See, like right there, I just slipped off. It is doable, though. Definitely doable, so not awful. And that's kind of how it has to be, unless they wanted to lower this side of the scale, and then it would kind of just throw everything off. So if they wanted the blade to sit this far into the handle, that was kind of how they had to do it. It's just what it is. You know what I mean? So action, decent. I think actually pretty darn good for such a cheap knife. Easily reverse flickable, pretty easily thumb flickable once you get used to it, and actually kind of a satisfying slow roll, to be honest with you. Ergonomically, it's a Voxnaes design. You know, he's known for his ergonomics, and this is no different. There's not really a choke up spot, and I thought about maybe cutting in a larger finger choil here for myself, and I might still do that, depending on where the stop pin falls, and it's back there. So that's cool. Yeah, I shouldn't have a problem enlarging that finger choil. So you can see the stop pin hits back there, not anywhere in here where the choil is. So I probably will do that, in fact. I will update you guys on after I do that. But choked back, I feel fine back here. I still feel close enough to the edge where it doesn't really bother me. I can get a full grip on it. If you had much bigger hands than I do, you might have like a 3.5 finger grip on it. But it is really comfortable like this. I feel the clip, but it's not a hot spot. Yeah, I'd say ergonomically it's pretty decent. Definitely not the most comfortable Voxnaes design I've felt. You know, the Pilar series are like ergonomically amazing. This one, not as amazing, but still good. Still definitely good. I think this is a great knife for someone that's just getting into knives, maybe as a gift. You know, I'm probably going to give this away, maybe to a coworker, family member, maybe a giveaway on the channel once I enlarge the choil. I think this is a great starter knife. Let me let the dog out. I think it's a great knife to get someone to, get someone into knives, even if they're not planning on getting into knives. I think it's a great EDC knife overall, for a gift or whatever, I have some roommates that sometimes I give knives to. Maybe I'll give him one of these. I think this is great. The blade steel is 8CR13 MOV, I believe. It doesn't say on here anywhere. So not the best blade steel, but it's okay. It's fine. For such a cheap knife, that's okay. The edge that it came with was very sharp, though. Very, very sharp. So that's good. Like we saw, it was a consistent edge bevel. So yeah, overall, I think this is great. A great, great option for such a cheap knife. The Ontario Rat is another very good, well-priced knife. A little more pricey than the Piet, but still in that general range. And I don't know. That's a tough one. Which one would I say is better? I think ergonomically the Rat would win, just because there's this area up here to choke up, which I really like. But choked back, they're actually pretty similar. That would be tough to judge. The thumbstick action is good on the Rat. I do have blade play, though. If I tighten that pivot up, the thumbstick action wouldn't be as good. But it's decent. This one's off center as well. This one I did a black stone washing on the blade, which is why it's like this. It comes with the satin. I might actually do that on this knife too. Maybe I should stone wash the blade. That'd be kind of cool, right? I might try some mods on this knife. I've always wanted to try to make my own scales for a folding knife, and this might be a good one to practice on. They look fairly simple, except for the recess. That might be kind of difficult to do. But, yeah, anyways, I'm going to enlarge the finger choil, maybe do a stone washing, and then probably give it away on the channel or to a buddy. So, that's about it. That was the review on the CRKT Piet. Like I said, if you're looking for a gift for somebody that needs a good knife and you're on a budget, this is a very good option. They might still be on sale at Blade HQ. I'll link them down below if they are. Thanks for watching, folks. I love y'all very, very much. Never forget that. I'll see you in the next video. Adios.